Hi guys, Dave Wilson here again. Welcome to Morecambe Bay. Now, the reason why I've come down to the beach today is because today I'm making a silver pendant, okay? And the customer has sent me a piece of sea glass all the way from Canada. So, what exactly is sea glass? Well, let's take a walk. Okay, just watch our step. And here we are, down onto the beach. Okay, so imagine a glass bottle and it gets thrown into the sea, dropped off a ship, left on the beach, whatever. But it finds its way into the sea and eventually it'll get washed up onto the shore, somewhere like this. And the first thing that will happen is, with the action of the waves and the rocks, it'll get smashed up and it'll get broken into lots of little pieces. But then, with the action of the waves coming in, the little pebbles and stones and the sand, over the days, weeks, months, years, even decades, it slowly gets broken down, the corners get rounded off and it gets sanded, and that is sea glass. It's real glass that's been sanded and polished by the sea and the beach. Now, I just found this piece here and this is exactly what I'm on about. You see how rounded it is? And look at the texture. I hold it up to the light. You see that kind of satin, sandblasted texture. And these have been polished and rounded off over years, decades. Anyway, enough of the sightseeing. I've got work to do. Let's go make a pendant. Follow me. So this is the piece of sea glass that the customer sent me, all the way from Canada, I believe. If you look closely, you'll see there's a little ridge at the bottom, just down here, see, and there's a ridge at the top. And I think this is the bottom of a bottle, maybe an old pop bottle, something like that. And if you turn it sideways, you can see it's flat on the bottom and domed. And I think this is the base of the bottle. You see the little bubble at the bottom there. So that means, because it's curved and flat based, I can mount it like a cabochon. So, how do we do that? For the back of the bezel, this is 1mm thick silver sheet, and very important, this was made on my rolling mill, so it's very, very strong and tough. It's very hard. So this will do for the backing, as it will help to support the glass and give it some strength. I've also got some 0.2mm strip here, which I'm going to use to make the bezel, and very importantly, this has been annealed, so you can see this is very soft and flexible. So this is going to form the bezel around the glass. As for the height, I want the bezel just high enough to go over the edge of this lip here at this end and at the top. So I've made it just a little bit bigger, and I can adjust it later if I need to. Now, important little tip, you can see I've marked this bottom edge here, and this is because I've sanded it on a piece of sandpaper just to get that edge perfectly flat, and that means that it'll make a nice smooth solder joint when I put this onto the backing to form the bezel. I'm going to start bending the bezel at the top here where the pointed end is. That's going to be the top, because that's where I'm going to solder the bezel together, and I'm also going to solder a jump ring at the top there, so that's going to be where the bezel hangs. Okay, I'm happy with that, got a nice tight fit all the way around, so I'm just marking it at the top here where it overlaps, and then cutting it nice and flush and square. So that's now the right length, but you can see it's still a little bit springy even though it's annealed. So what I've got here is some stainless steel binding wire. So I just snip a bit off, wrap it round, and then using some pliers I can just twist it together until I get a little bit of tension, just enough to keep those ends nice and tight. And there you see nice and flush at the ends here, so I can now go and solder it, and I know it's not going to move. Here we are at the soldering bench, so you can see I've got it in the locking forceps here. Keep it straight. Lots of flux. This is just borax and water on the inside and on the outside too, so that the solder will go through both sides. A little touch of flux over here on my solder pallions as well. Remember, always flux your solder as well. And I'm just going to put a couple little pieces, quite generous, just on the inside there. Just heating it gently. I've got a fairly soft flame here, don't need anything aggressive. And then just moving my heat underneath as well, just dragging that solder through, and I think we're about done. But very important, I'm going to quench it first and remove the steel wire, because I can't put down the pittle, otherwise it'll contaminate the pittle and everything will turn orange. So here we are out of the pittle. Very nice solder job at the top there, as you see. So really useful getting some of this stuff, this stainless steel binding wire. Great for tying stuff together, so do check it out. Next is to make sure that the base is flat, it's not twisted while I've been heating it. So just put it on my steel bench block here, just a couple of light taps. It shouldn't really need it, but I'm just checking. And then to make sure that the base is perfectly flat and perfectly clean, ready for soldering onto the base, I'm just going to rub it on this diamond plate here, and that'll just make sure that the bottom's nice and flat and clean. Likewise, just check, make sure it still fits, that it's not got distorted during the heating, and you see that's absolutely perfect. Because I've made sure that that bottom edge is nice and flat, you can see when I put it onto the base plate, it's going to give me a nice smooth solder joint all the way around with no gaps, and that's going to look great. So let's go and solder it. Back at the soldering bench, and you'll notice here that I've got this honeycomb block, and this is going to help the heat to get underneath and around the base plate. So let's start with covering it with flux, and this flux is mixed with a little bit of meths, alcohol, and this kind of stops it from pooling. You can see it helps it cover better, and it goes all over the piece a little bit better. Pop the bezel on, and again a little bit of flux inside, just make sure that everything's fluxed so that the solder will run all the way around. Now notice that I'm placing the solder pallions on the outside, round the outside edge of the bezel, and there's several reasons for this. Firstly, I don't want any solder on the inside, because that's going to corrupt the edge and it might interfere with the glass. And secondly, when I apply the heat, I'm going to apply the heat from the outside inwards, so I can draw it gently up towards the bezel without melting it. So just warming the whole thing up, just letting that flux dry out nice and gently, just getting the whole piece nice and warm. And you'll notice that I'm pointing my flame more towards the base here, and once everything gets warm I can direct my attention to individual little pallions here, just melting them, and then as they go molten I'm using the solder pick to move that molten solder over towards the bezel. And by doing it this way, I'm using the heat that's in the base rather than directing my flame directly at the bezel. Remember, this bezel's only 0.2mm thick, so it's very easy to just melt it. So by directing my flame downwards here at the base and using the solder pick, I can move the solder where I want it without the risk of excessive heat on the bezel. And just a case of working my way around, moving that flame, following the edge round, and using the solder pick to make sure that I've got a nice smooth shiny edge all the way around. See it just coming around this corner here, and then working it round, and that's looking really good now. So pop it in the pittle, clean it up, and then get it over on the bench and we can start making it into a pendant. Lovely solder job if I do say so myself. So the next job is to remove all this excess base plate. I could do it with a saw, but it's easier to do with a pair of shears. These are nice new ones, so they're really sharp, and as you see, if I keep them close to the bezel and parallel, and just kind of follow this curve round, I can actually get very, very close in. So now that all that excess is removed, it's a very easy job to just go around with a file, just getting that edge nice and butted up against the edge of the bezel, and then just a little bit of sanding with a little lemon roll here, just to show you this. And then once I've sanded it all the way around, you can see that the bezel and the base actually become one. Now, very important tip, when you try your bezel for the first time, use something like PTFE tape. This is white plumber's tape here, very thin and strong, or use some dental floss, piece of cotton, anything just underneath it, so that if it does get stuck, at least you can get it back out again, because it can be very difficult if that bezel's tight. And as we can see, that is an absolute perfect fit. Now, this is the cool bit. You see, I don't want the back to be completely solid, because obviously this is sea glass, so I want the light to be able to get through it. So, just marking round the edge with a little marker here, and that's going to be the bottom edge of the bezel. And then you see here, I've drawn a little wave shape at the back, and very importantly, I've made sure that it touches at both sides, so the bezel's still strong and connected, but when I cut these pieces out, it'll let the light through. So the first thing I need to do is drill some holes in the top and bottom, thread my piercing saw through, and then just very gently cut it out, pierce out these two pieces, and there. Just a tiny amount of touch up with some little needle files on the inside, and you can see what we've got. I hope you'll agree it looks a lot more interesting like this. Okay, that's that done. Next job is to solder a jump ring onto the top here, and we're going to use that to attach the bail in a moment. Now remember that I've got a solder joint right at the very tip here, and even though it's all been done with hard solder, I don't want to risk anything, so I'm just using a little bit of easy solder here just to close the jump ring and also to solder it onto the end of the bezel. So directing my flame at the jump ring, nice and gentle, soft flame, and that's it. Simple as that. Okay, now time to adjust this bezel. I did give myself plenty clearance, so it came over the edge of that lip, but I think I can take it down a little bit. So, as before, just rubbing it backwards and forwards on the diamond plate, just a little, just to take a millimetre or so off the top, and if you look now, you see that's a much better fit, so that will rub over nicely. Here I've cut this little diamond shape out of a piece of scrap sheet. I just did this with my tin snips, nice and simple, and then if I need to do any adjustment, I can just use a file just to make sure those edges are perfectly parallel and equal. And then using my stepped pliers, I'm just bending it round so it forms a little U-shaped bail. Just a quick safety check. Here I've got a jump ring the same size as the one I soldered on, and you can see the tip is just a little bit wide there, so I'm just going to file the sides down a little bit, nice and equal on both sides. Once I'm happy that it'll fit through the jump ring, just bend the ends just a couple of millimetres, you see, and then just using my piercing saw, I'm just going to make sure that the very tips there come together nice and even, so that I'll get a nice solder joint later. That's looking lovely, happy with that. So let's pop it on and go and solder it. Once again, some easy solder, and you'll notice that I've got the bail held in some locking forceps here, and the reason for that is just to lift it up so that it's not touching that jump ring, because I do not want to solder it to the jump ring. So nice and easy, just a little bit of easy solder there, and I think that's done. Usual process here, Menzona intensive polish on a hard wheel and some Pepe Tools blue buffing compound
on a soft wheel. So it's just a case of giving it a buff.
That's looking lovely now, the classic Dave Wilson mirror finish, but I need to really clean it now in the ultrasonic, get all this grease off it. I'm going to coat the inside of the bezel with 2-part epoxy resin. This has got several purposes. It's going to act as a cushion for the glass to protect it. It will also help to keep it in place, obviously. And on the back here, it will act as a seal to stop dirt and water getting in the back and keep everything nice and sealed and clean. But before I apply the adhesive, I'm going to go over the entire inside with a little diamond tool here. And the purpose of this is it's going to rough it up, so it's going to give it a better key for the adhesive to stick. And it also makes the back sparkly and clean, so it helps to reflect the light. Here we have quick drying 2-part epoxy adhesive, so equal amounts. And this is something I like to do. This is acrylic paint, and you only need a tiny little drop of it and it will help to colourize the adhesive. I know you're not really going to see the adhesive, but it's just something I like to do. It's a added little touch. So mix it up thoroughly, and then I'm going to coat all the inside really generously, all around the inside of the bezel, all over the back of the wave, and then put the glass in, make sure it's nice and flat, and then wipe off the excess with a tissue, and I'll just leave that to dry. Everything's nice and secure now, but before it goes off completely, I'm just using this burnisher to just go around the edges and just push that bezel over the glass and just kind of fold it in around the sides. Very last thing, just a little bit of detailing with a little silicone wheel here, and then if it needs it I might give it just a final little buff with a little cotton mop as well, just to finish up the front. And that's it. And there we have it, one beautiful sea glass and sterling silver pendant. See it from the side there, really nice. And I photographed it with a light behind it so you can see how the light goes through it, and the lovely wave detail on the back. You know guys, I often complain about my job. It's really hard being self-employed and it's difficult to make money sometimes. But you know what? I get to make Celtic jewellery and I get to live in the most beautiful place in England. So I guess life could be worse. So guys, thanks for joining me. Hope you got something out of that. I've been Dave Wilson. Thanks for watching and I'll see you real soon on the next video. Bye for now.